Hello, and welcome to another video session here at NAV SEAL. Delighted to see you again. Now today I wanted to talk about DocuSign. We have released a new version of DocuSign integration between Business Central and DocuSign. I hope you're familiar with Business Central. DocuSign is a big solution that they provide a lot of different apps you can use. But one of the core areas is they provide electronic signatures on documents. So that means if you have a document you want a person to sign, you can use the DocuSign setup for that. Now, last year we released our first version of DocuSign, and it's been fun to work with that and fun to work with DocuSign themselves. They're really excited to work together with us as well, so that's really great. I wanted to show you our newest release and show some of the new features that's in there. And I wanted to show you how you can download it and use it in your own sandbox just to see how it works. So on the left-hand side here, my left-hand side, I have our knowledge base. This is the NAV SEAL knowledge base up in the top. You can see the link to get to that knowledge base. One part of that knowledge base has to do with DocuSign. In our knowledge base for DocuSign, we have we have some videos, we have some how-tos and setups, and all kinds of hopefully good stuff that you can use if you have questions about it, just want to look information up about it. Our newest version is for Business Central version 25. So let me just show you that in the download section here, and it opens up this one. As it mentioned, this is only for a sandbox. So you can install this version in a sandbox and connect it to your own DocuSign, and in that way test this integration with the DocuSign signatures. Some of the new features we've put in here has to do with what we call the contact types. Contact types is who's going to sign it. And also we can send carbon copies, we can send copies to other people, and we can use what is called an agent to send that information to as well. Okay, what is the difference? We always need a signer. We need a person to sign the document, at least one. So that is what we call a signer contact type. All you have to do is put in the email, put in the name, and put in what is called a routing number. I'm coming back to the routing in just a second. You can also, and you can have multiple signers if you want to do that. You can also have a carbon copy contact type. And that type of contact type, or that people that's going to receive that email, is not supposed to sign the document. They can sign the document, but instead it's intended for them to have a copy of that signed document. So at least they have an idea about what is going on. So it's more for informational purposes that you would use that. So that was one part of it. I mentioned routing orders. On each of the lines, when you put in a signer or carbon copy, you can put in the routing order of that. So a routing order, if you put in routing order 1, for example, on all of the signers, let's take the example, you have 3 signers, and they all have routing order number 1. As you can see in the diagram here, they will all be on the same level for a signature. That means they're going to receive that email at the same time, and they're all supposed to sign at the same time. Now, if we change the order, we have a 1, 2, and 3. You can see in this example, we have KK, which is the first signer. Once KK has signed it, it will go on to the next KK. That's a really bad example, but it's a different signer as number 2. And then number 3 is the third and last signer, and then it's complete after that. So that is how you can use the routing order to kind of set up a sequence of how you want this signed, if someone should sign it before someone else should sign it. That is what you can use the routing for it. Now, another really nice feature about this new version is attachments. Attachments means that we can attach other files to this document that's supposed to be signed. Now, in this example I'm showing on the screen, it's a purchase order. So you're going to send that document to your vendor and asking them to sign it. But maybe you want to have some supporting documents that explains a little bit more in detail what it is that you want them to sign. So in my example, I have attached 3 different PDFs in this example, but it could be anything. You decide what you want to attach. Well, the signer is not going to sign the attachments. They're just going to assign the purchase order. So the attachments is just for informational purpose. But it goes together with what we call the envelope, the DocuSign envelope. That is what they're going to sign up there when they receive that email from DocuSign. Now, if I go down a little bit further, just to show you what it could look like when they receive the email. So you see, this is an email that came to me when I was testing it. And say, okay, you have to view a document, but up here you can see we have the attachments. So all the attachments I put in Business Central will also be on the email that is received by the person who's supposed to sign it, or even the carbon copy one will also see those attachments. If you log into, just to show you what it looks like, if you log into DocuSign themselves, their own homepage, you can also verify that all of the attachments that we put into Business Central and then communicate to DocuSign on your behalf will be shown on the admin page, so you can see all the attached documents. You can see that out here to the right as one example. Now, when we talk about signing documents, you probably noticed when you receive a document like that, there's a little box saying sign here. That is what DocuSign refers to as an anchor. So the anchor determines where on the page that little box will show up. In Business Central, we will now allow you per document, purchase order, sales quote, sales order, whatever type of document we're talking about here, you can define that anchor per document. And why is that important? Now, often on documents you have a total, same total. So you could use the total as an anchor, and then from that total text, you can say, okay, now put my signature box so many pixels away from that total. Now, if there's no total in your report, you're kind of lost. So that is why we have a special setup per report. So if it says subs or whatever it says, if you just want to have a different anchor, you can just put in that anchor with a different name. My example here is very, very simple. It's total anchor and then number of pixels away from that. That is where we're going to put the box for a signature. But it's flexible. You can set it up the way you want to set it up. Last thing I wanted to talk about today is our API logging. You know, when the system is running and all is great, no errors, no issues, no nothing, that's perfect. But we're living an IT world here, so from time to time things will happen. And one of the tough things about integrations, APIs, that is, it's hard to see what is actually happening, and especially when it's not happening the way you expect it to happen. Maybe it won't communicate with us. Maybe there's something other thing wrong with that. So we have integrated an API log. And what does that mean? That means every time we make a call to DocuSign, either to deliver some information or to receive some new status updates, we will log a record about that. We will save in a text file the request that we send to DocuSign. I know this is a little techy, but you can read that and see what is exactly in that request. We can also see the response we got back from them and read exactly what that file looked like. So for when you're having issues and communication doesn't work, it's really nice to have a way to go and look for information like that, so you can kind of pass it on, maybe to us, to say, okay, something is wrong with the communication. Here is the request file, here's the response file, can you help us? And that certainly helps us helping you, because it's easier for us to see directly what is coming back from DocuSign. So that was a pleasure telling you about our newest release of DocuSign. I hope you enjoyed it, and I hope you will take the opportunity to get into our knowledge base and download our newest version. And feel free to make any comments on it. We would appreciate that. So looking forward to talk to you in the future. Thank you.
Thanks for watching this video from NAV SEAL. Check out more right here. NAV SEAL offer assistance and counsel on any existing solution. So if you're in need of assistance, don't hesitate to contact us on navseal.com or LinkedIn. Consider leaving a like and subscribe for more tips, news, and guides to anything Microsoft Dynamics 365 Business Central.